I'm Iiro, a jazz pianist, classical pianist, composer, arranger, and a band leader. And this is Iiro's Hotline. You have sent me great questions about music and life, and now I will provide you my answers to my best knowledge. All of this for free! Welcome to Iiro's Hotline.
Joe is asking 3 questions. Why do you play both classical and jazz music? Do you have any tips for someone who would like to broaden their music language? And what's my favorite beer? Well, Joe, I play classical and jazz because I love them both equally. I find the compositions a little bit more interesting and challenging in classical music, but in jazz I get to improvise, which is kind of composing on stage in the moment. And for broadening your musical language, I have a hot tip for you, Joe, and this goes for all music students all around the world. You should go to concerts more. You should go all the concerts that are happening in your neck of the woods. 1 concert a day is an acceptable amount of concerts you should go to, because the real stuff happens in the concert hall, in the club, and you should see the real stuff. Stop wanking at home or in your music school thinking about, oh, my music, my career. Your time will come later. But meanwhile, go to see everybody, go all concerts, be really open-minded about it, and eventually it will be you performing on the stage. Don't give me that crap that you don't have time, because that is one of the first things you should learn becoming a musician, how to be efficient and organize your day, that you get this shit done and this and this and this, and in the evening it's concert time. I don't see too many music students in the concert halls nowadays. And the beer question. Well, I don't drink alcohol anymore, but when I was young and limitless, I used to love the Duvel beer in Belgium. Oh, those were the days. One of the strongest beers available, 8.5% of alcohol. It worked perfectly on me. Oh, I need a beer. Give me a beer. I give you 10,000 for 1 beer. Just 1 sip. Sarah is asking, how do you know that you should be a musician? Well, I just knew. I've always been this talented. These are the symptoms. When you wake up in the morning and the first thing in your mind is music, you're in the right track. It could be the second thing, and you can deal the first thing out of the way. It usually goes like this. You're a child, you start playing something. All your friends play something, and you play with them. And you grow up, and one day you're 16, 15, 17 years old, and you have no other choice than becoming a musician, because everybody you have grew up with played music. The trick is that musicians usually do those years of hard working when they are children and teenagers. But you don't necessarily have to suffer while becoming a musician. Reserve the suffering for the audience later on. But when you decide to become a musician, anything
could happen. This is one of the most uncertain professions you can pick up. Like my great-great-great-grandfather, Dick, who was a real Dick, by the way, he moved to America because he had heard that in America the streets are paved with gold. He went there and he found out three things. First, the streets are not paved with gold. 2, the streets are not paved. 3, he was the one who's gonna pave them. So, you becoming a musician, you could do any of these things. Paving the streets and whatever, and maybe, just maybe in the end, you will have the golden streets. But that's not important. The important thing is the passion and the energy. And if you're suffering symptoms like, I don't have time or energy to practice, then it's a problem. I think if you have to ask yourself about, I should practice more, blah, 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 then probably you don't have the passion, and it's really difficult to sell the passion for somebody. So you either have it or you don't. By the way, eventually Dick became huge in America. Piotr is asking about swing phrasing. Good question. Swing phrasing is this. Normally you have 8 notes. Ta 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 ta. They are even. But when you play them in the swing, they are pa 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 pa. And what it is, it's basically a triplet with the first and the last note of the triplet. Pa, 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 pa. That is the swing. And you should have a little bit emphasis on the last note of the triplet. Let me show you. Here is a Blue Monk, composition by Thelonious Monk. And as it says here, swing, so it should be played in the swing style. And here we have the even 8 notes. But since it says swing, it should sound. And a good way to practice this is to set your metronome on the last note of the triplet. So instead of ta 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 ta, you have it ta 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 ta. So ta 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 ta. Okay? And not a very easy practice. So one more time, here it's how it's written, the even 8 notes, but it should be da 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 da. If you write it in the correct way, this is how you should write it, da 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 da. But in jazz, generally they don't write swing rhythms in the triplets, so you should be able to play this kind of even 8th note stuff with the swing, and you can have this quite demanding practice with your metronome. Just like that. I'm not a good swing player. My swing sucks. It sucks hard. So I should be practicing this.